All right, NBA fans, what's going on? Self-researched NBA facts. Got another video. Took the weekend off. Want to hit the ground running though. I got a lot more information to get out to the good people. You know, the misinformed, the ill-informed. Listen to YouTube content creators is a lot closer to the full picture and the truth than you're ever going to get out of the big major networks. They got an agenda and they're using it. And they've accomplished a lot in a short time by brainwashing people, giving people only their side of the story. But I want to do this video specifically about what Michael Jordan did, what qualifies him to be the greatest of all time, how it's not close, not any one thing. So I decided, what if I broke it down by year? Did Michael Jordan do something remarkable every year? Well, he either had a record, he did something remarkable, or some kind of feat in every single year of his career. As a rookie in the 84-85 season, he led the NBA in total points scored. I think only Wilt Chamberlain did that. I looked it up and I couldn't find anybody else other than Wilt that did that. As a rookie, he led his team, in 4 of the 5 major stat categories, and was tied with Juwan Oldham, I think, for blocks. So he was the leader of his team as a rookie in every stat category, and I couldn't find anyone who had done that accomplishment. In 1986, Michael Jordan's second season, he suffered an injury. He only started a handful of games, only played in about a quarter of the season total. But what he did was he set the playoff record for the most points in a single playoff game at 63. And that still stands to this day. Again, the guy barely even played, and here he is setting a record that still stands. In 1987, Michael Jordan became the first player with over 200 blocks and 100 steals at any position. Didn't matter the position, he's the first player to ever do that feat. In 1988, he's the first player to win the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. He's also became the second player to win the scoring title and be named first team all defense in the same season. The other was Jerry West in 1970. In 1989, Michael Jordan became the only player ever, going back in 88, he did the 200 steals and 100 blocks for consecutive years. It's been done by a couple other players, but no one's ever done it in back-to-back years, and no guard has ever done it, and he's did it twice. In 1989, he became the only player in NBA history at that time to win the scoring title and be named first team all defense. He's the only player to do that twice in 89. In 1990, he became and is still one of 6 players to lead the league in 2 of the 5 major stat categories multiple times. I think it was Dwight Howard, Ben Wallace, Allen Iverson, Chris Paul, Wilt Chamberlain, and Michael Jordan are the only 6 players to do that twice in the same season. And that was in 1990. And he also won the scoring title and first name defense. So now he did that, the only player to ever do that 3 times. In 91, again, the only player to win the scoring title, first name defense, now for the 4th time. That's never been done before. And then in the 1991 finals, he had the record for the most steals in a 5-game finals. Still a record to this day. He had 14 steals. The record for the most consecutive field goals in an NBA finals at 13 still stands. And also the most assists per game in a player's debut finals, and that was 11.4. And he had another feat that carried over into the 92 season. But in 92, again, the only player to win the scoring title and be named first defense for the 4th time. Another something nobody's ever done before. And in 92, in the finals, he set the record for most points and a half at 35. And also, from the 91 to the 92 finals, in a player's first 10 finals games, he had 92 assists. That's still a record to this day. John Stockton had 88, Bob Cousy had 87. I think LeBron James had 67 in his first 10 finals games. So already in his first 2 championship years, he set some records. All right, the 1993 season, again, the scoring title, but also the steals title. He became only the 2nd player to ever lead the league in multiple major stat categories 3 times or more. That was the 3rd time. And also, he's the only player to ever do that and win a championship. No matter how many times you did it. He's the only one that ever did that and won a championship. In 93, he's got the NBA Finals record for most points per game in the finals, and also the most 40-point games in a row. That was 4. And that was in 1993. He did all that. In 1995, or also in 93, he became the Bulls became one of 7 teams to beat both number 1 seeds in the same season. Now that's been done after Jordan, of course, but like 2019 Toronto did it. The Lakers in 01 and 02 did it. Olajuwon in 94 did it. So it's been done after that the Bulls accomplished that. In 1995, he played a quarter of the season, but I'm pretty sure he was the only player to get MVP votes and play less than 20 games in 1995. I think he finished like 12th or 13th, and he played like 18 games. And also in 95, they beat Charlotte in the first round, so that was 3 straight road series they won, carried from 93. They beat the Knicks in 93's finals. They beat Phoenix in the 93 finals, and then they beat Charlotte in the first round. All 3 teams had home court advantage, and the Bulls won 3 consecutive road playoff series. I know LeBron James never did that because I looked it up. He won 2, but never 3. In 1996, Michael Jordan became the only player, I believe, to win the MVP and the Finals MVP 3 times. No one's ever done that before in 96. They also, at the time, had the best regular season record of all time. Golden State broke it, no problem. But if you combine the playoffs and the regular season together, that's the best season winning percentage of all time, 1996. And in 1997, you could say that combined with 96, the best consecutive 2-year span winning percentage, regular season playoffs in NBA history, and that was in 1997. Okay, and then in 1998, him and Scottie Pippen, the only top 75 players, and only players, period, I know of, to have 2 separate championship winning streaks of 3 or more. The only player to ever do that, him and Pippen, is included on that. But and also in '98, because that was basically the end of the run or the era. Then you had to look at everything. He's the 10th scoring title, more than anybody else. Actually, in '96, he would have broke the record of the most scoring titles with 8 in '96. So another record. Every year there's a record, a feat, or an accomplishment of some magnitude. And then, in '98 they won the 3 in a row twice, and that was the end of his playoff career because he didn't make the playoffs on the Wizard. So he's the only all-time great or top 75 player to never lose a series when having home court advantage. Became one of 5 players to win at least 1 round in the playoffs when having a winning record. That was the other 4 players were Dave DeBusschere, Sam Jones, Bill Russell, and George Mikan. So he's the only player in the last 50 years to win at least one round in the playoffs when having a winning record. I mean, that's a feat in itself, is it not? And also the only players, I believe, to have at least to have multiple 60-win seasons and to win the championship every time. Him and Scottie Pippen are the only top 75 players, and they did that 5 times. So, you know, you may think it's easy to be the favorite, but it's not always easy to be the favorite. Everybody's always coming after you. So in the 2001-2002 season on the Wizards, it's like, well, what records could he set? Well, he became the oldest player to receive MVP votes. He finished 13th in MVP at the age of 39 when the season was done. And that's the oldest. I looked that up. And then in the next season, his age 40 season, the oldest player ever to average 20 games. And also, I think him and John Stockton tied as the oldest players to play all 82 games. So as you can see, every single season of Michael Jordan's career, there's a record, an accomplishment, a feat, and there's many more. I'm just basically naming, you know, the highlights right off the top of my head. There's many more records and feats that he accomplished. You know, like the highest points per game of all time. You know, after the Wizards, that wrapped up his career, then there was a career thing. You know, points per game in the playoffs, and so on and so forth. I mean, the guy did something remarkable every year. Actually, Jerry West said that best. He said, Michael Jordan has done the most spectacular things in the history of basketball. That was Jerry West. So, you know, I tend to agree with him because there's not one season where he did not set a record, some kind of feat or accomplishment that no one else has ever done, or one of a few that have done it every single year of his career. I mean, right there is your ammunition. You get into these debates and you say, here's what Jordan did every year of his career. Okay, you put player B here, and let's dissect every year they had. Did they do something, you know, remarkable, something nobody else has done, or the first to ever do this, or have set all these records that still stands? You're just not going to find a player like that. It doesn't exist. You know, you're going to have to get into other things like longevity or, you know, total championships. That's the only leg you're going to have to stand on. And to me, that's just one piece of the puzzle. That's a part of the overall picture, sure. But that's one criteria. You know, you can't just harp on longevity. You can't just harp on championships because so much goes into that. Longevity means you avoided injuries. And also championships is a team thing. You know, you have a key player go down, your championship chances diminish. You know, we know that. You know, you get a certain player goes down, you're done. That's just the way it is. So there's a lot of factors to go into it. It can't be any one thing. But when you look at the totality, the whole picture of championships, longevity, records, feats, accomplishments, there's just one name. It's not close. There's not just one thing you can put with Michael Jordan. It's the whole picture. And that's what I keep trying to explain to people. I said, you guys have made it about longevity only because that's what you have. So you look at Michael Jordan, you can look at it from any aspect. You know, even the longevity, I made a video on this. I don't concede the longevity at all. You're saying that because LeBron James played 21 years, averaging 25 points, 24 points, whatever, squeaking into a third-team All-NBA last year, yeah, surely that's impressive. Whether did it naturally or otherwise, it's impressive. But Michael Jordan maintained an MVP level longer than anyone else. From 1988 to 1998, that's a 10-year difference. His first and last MVP. I did another video about this. And same with scoring title. His first was in 87, his last was in 98. No one has had a scoring title, you know, 11 years worth of scoring titles. Yeah, he won it 10 times, but you see what I'm saying. Maintaining that level and first team all defense for a decade. No player has ever done this. This is something that no one's ever been able to do. Be the scoring champion, all defense, playing at an MVP level for a decade. We've never seen this before. Kareem was close, sure, and he's got the longest span between finals MVPs, but that speaks a little more to team because you had a team to do that. You know, Michael Jordan would have walked right into, like the 76ers or, some good team like that. Maybe, I don't know, the Houston Rockets or something like that, or the Pistons. He might have been winning right away. So that speaks more to team than it does anything else. But, sure, Kareem had great longevity, and he's got a lot of MVPs. I explained a lot of that in another video. But anyway, that's going to wrap this up. Again, I put Michael Jordan's resume against anybody's. You want to go year by year, you will lose if you go up against Michael Jordan. He's just done more spectacular things on the basketball court than any other player. That's it. Till next time.